Hey guys, Coach Chris here, and just got finished with a Body Beast chest workout, and I wanted to pass along a couple of tips that I have found that aren't necessarily mentioned as you go through any of the chest routines with Body Beast. A couple of these tips, or there's really just two tips, but these tips aren't necessarily new or undiscovered by anybody else, but I found that they certainly work the chest muscles quite a bit differently and give you the opportunity to focus really more on the chest and take a little bit of the stress out on the shoulder and remove some of the work that some people have when they're doing chest press moves with the triceps. So what I'm going to do is give you a demonstration on those and kind of walk you through each of those tips. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so the first tip is when you're doing chest press moves, whether it's decline, incline, or flat, you want to pin or pinch your shoulder blades together. What that does is really focus the tension on the pec muscle. So instead of locking out your shoulders and putting the pressure right on that shoulder joint, when you pinch your your shoulder blades together, you're really focusing all that stress on the chest muscle. Now, I took my shirt off, but I went ahead and put a towel down here. It's a little easier when you get all sweaty that you've got something in between the skin and the bench, or if you're using the stability ball to get your shoulder blades to pinch together. So if you need a towel, great. If you've already got your shirt on, it should be a little easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that specific position. I've got some dumbbells here. I got some lightweight. What I would suggest is you start out with a pretty light weight. That way you get a feel for the motion, and then once you've got it, then you can up your weight a little bit. But keep in mind, because you're actually putting more stress and more focus on the pec muscle, you may find that you're not going to be able to lift as much for the given number of reps that you're used to. So start out with a light weight, get used to the motion, and then move up. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. All right, so many of you are going to be right here most of the time. You see how my arms are almost fully extended and my shoulders are extended and locked out. This is going to put additional stress on that shoulder joint. What you want to do is pinch your shoulder blades together. You see how that dropped that weight a little bit? Then you also want to just ever so slightly bend your elbows. And then from this position, you're just going straight down, and you'll notice right away that it feels a little bit different when you're going down and then coming back up, versus if you're doing this, you're actually, when you hit the top, you're not putting any stress on the chest muscles at that point. You're basically using your entire shoulder to hold that weight up in that shoulder joint. But if you do this, now you've got most, if not all, that weight on the chest muscle. So you need to go down, so give that a try. Like I said, start with some lighter weights so you get the feel for the motion, and really notice how when you bring your elbows down and your shoulder blades are pinched together, you're going to feel that quite a bit differently in the chest. All right, let's move on to tip number 2. Okay, so tip number 2 builds on the same motion and position that we had in our tip number 1. So you're still going to be pinching your shoulder blades back when you go into that chest move. And it doesn't matter, like I said, incline, flat, decline. This is the same movement. So when you've got your chest down and your shoulder blades back, you just want to ever so slightly turn your wrists. And again, that's going to put less stress on that shoulder joint and more stress on the pec muscle. So when you've got it at its fully up position, most of the time when you're with dumbbells, let's say, you've got those dumbbells almost in line with each other. And what you want to do is just twist them ever so slightly so they're maybe at a, just a slight degree apart from each other. And despite what you think, that's going to make quite a bit of difference on the actual feel and movement of the particular exercise you're doing. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so again, here's the wrong position, or the position that you're most likely in now. You want to pinch those shoulder blades back, and then you want to just turn these dumbbells ever so slightly. It might be just shy of 45 degrees. And then when you bring them down, you want to keep them in that position as much as possible on the way up and on the way down. And again, you're going to notice that the chest muscles are being worked entirely differently than when you're just doing this and you're going out like this. That's putting more stress on that joint in your shoulder than we want. And so you turn that in, pull your shoulder blades together, and you bring it down. That's really working that chest. Again, start with lighter weights so you get a feel for the movement, motion, the new hand position, that sort of thing. And then once you've got it, then you can move up with your weights. So I hope you found these tips helpful, and give them a try and let me know how they've improved or made your chest press muscle or your chest press exercises feel differently. Give me a subscription to the channel. You can check out my other videos there. This is Coach Chris from YourFitnessPath.com. Thanks.